Okay, guys, come on into the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed. If you guys have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that. I'm going to get into this interview. I titled this video, Anton Daniels and Relationship with his female host, Micca, More Lies and No Accountability. Now, I'm going to do this similar to what I did yesterday in that video because I started off with my notes. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it became too much. Like it was so much in this video that I just could not take notes because it is so long. So we're going to go through it because there is a lot to unpack as it relates to this interview. And we're going to get into it. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. And we're going to react to this video.
She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell cause the tea don't stop.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now.
She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell cause the tea don't stop.
Okay, guys, so we're getting into this video here. Like I said, I started to take notes, but it was a lot. It was a lot. So we're going to get into it. I am actually going to show you guys on screen the actual, what's happening, but I can't play it from my computer because this is somebody else's video. So essentially, you guys are going to see, you're going to hear the audio.
So let's get into Anton Daniels. Here's my thinking. With your vast erudition or knowledge in politics, was that the connection or bond? Because as I understand, he's a conservative and much of his rhetoric, if you will, is political.
Correct.
Is that fair to say?
That's fair.
That is fair. Was that the bond or the connection between you and Anton?
Absolutely. So I was a watcher of Anton's content way before, I actually knew Anton. So that is one of the bases of my connection with Anton, and also the financial conservatism too, because Anton knows a lot about financial decisions.
Okay, and how would you describe your political relationship with him?
Political relationship, what do you mean?
Yeah, so is it primarily the relationship or the friendship you have is primarily about politics?
Well, no, the relationship that we have now is primarily business.
Or prior to, when you say now, there's an emphasis that maybe it was different prior to.
No, the only prior to is before I knew him.
Okay.
So before I knew him, of course, I'm a consumer at that point.
Yeah.
So I'm, looking at Anton, like I said, from the conservative politics and the fiscally conservative shows he used to have.
Okay, guys, I am so sorry because I failed to do one thing. This is coming from talk perspective. This guy is a really great interviewer. I think I saw his name. His name is Orlando, if I'm correct. Now, I take it you guys had already saw this, but this is actually coming from his channel. Again, I'm not playing his, let me get this right. So I'm showing you guys the actual picture, but I'm not playing the audio from my computer because sometimes YouTube will give you issues if you play other people's video, but I'm playing the audio here. So I just wanted to make sure to give that guy credit. This is coming from his channel perspective.
Yeah, and what was it that caught your attention to stay connected to the work that he does?
Before I knew him?
Yep.
Oh,
you said you was a consumer of his work. Yeah.
It would be like the Millionaire Morning Show. That's actually what I did watch. I didn't know Anton's other shows until we started working together.
Sure.
But the Millionaire Morning Show, it has, like I said, it has different components of news, financial information, politics,
Sure.
and a little bit of pop culture, which is my lane.
Yeah. And even with that being your lane, how did the lanes collided, if you will? Meaning that at some point, either you reach out, you email, you DM, you say, hey, this is great work you're doing. It's something that I'm interested in knowing more about. How was that establishment?
So Anton reached out to me.
Sure.
And you know, he asked.
Well, let me ask you this, just for clarity for the public. When you say he reached out to you, so if you're a consumer of his work, how does he know to reach out to you?
He doesn't know to reach out to me.
So how?
It just happens that, well, I watch a lot of people.
Sure.
Online, but it just happens that he emailed me. I have my email.
Okay, guys, I want to jump in there for a minute because I've heard this story before from Micca. Micca had, I believe she said 1,200 followers. She was watching Anton's content. The way Anton dragged women, I don't know what woman would be drawn to his content unless, you know, she did say this. I was studying Anton. I wanted to see how he was doing it. But let me just let y'all know, I see a lot of people on YouTube. And a lot of times when you come on YouTube, you watch other people because you want to know how to do it. The way it happens for them, it will not happen for you. You have to develop your own dynamic. While I understand what she's saying, I don't understand because I feel like after 2 years and you still hustling with a few subscribers, doesn't it ding in your brain that this is not how it works on YouTube? Now, another thing, she claims that Anton reached out to her because he wanted to have her on his show. Why would Anton need to reach out to her? She has no subs. She's not a celebrity. Don't nobody know who she is. How does she bring an audience to his channel, being that nobody knows who the hell she is? The only thing she has is a nice look, okay? You know, she can pass because she has a nice look. But we live in the world of Instagram where you can open that baby up and you will see a baddie, you know, all day long. So she goes into saying that he basically wanted her to come on his show. But I believe that that's a story that they kind of came up with because what would be the relevance of Anton interviewing a no-name person?
On my Instagram, I have it up on my
Yeah, but that's what I'm asking.
YouTube.
How did he know? How did he establish connection with you to know to email you?
Well, from what he told me, somebody sent him my work, and so he wanted to work with me, so he emailed me.
Okay, so someone sent him your information.
Someone sent Anton her work. I'm still, Micca, looking for your work because she comes off as she's this journalist, but then said that she's not a journalist because you can't be a journalist unless you went to journalism school. We are not, you know, we're not journalists. My degree, I have a master's in organizational leadership. My undergrad is in communication. I used to want to be a news broadcaster, but I have no schooling in journalism. You're not a journalist. So she wants to tell us who she is, but you don't get to tell people who you are. They get to see who you are. And everything that she's given is just what we don't see.
And then he decided to reach out to you.
Somebody sent him my content, and he decided to look me up. He got my email, send me an email.
And if you can be transparent, what did he say in the email, or what did he say that established your interest to move to the next step?
Well, when I got the email, I already knew who Anton Daniels was because I'm watching Anton Daniels.
Yeah.
So he asked if I would be interested in doing an interview. I said, sure.
Okay. And the interview, just about, does he normally invite guests to come on?
all the time.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Anton has like one-on-ones with pretty much anybody. If his audience finds somebody intriguing, which
Sure.
is how he found me in the first
Yeah.
place, then he'll bring them on. Or if he finds them intriguing.
Yeah. And then you establish this sort of cordial friendship, if you will. It's a friendship at that point because you weren't working.
No. So once I did after I did the interview did really, really well.
Okay.
Especially
and what was
for
the interview about?
Everything. Anton asked me stuff from relationships, like my thoughts on relationships, because Anton does relationship panels and all of these
Sure.
things. So from relationships to politics to whatever he can come up with.
So it wasn't really a targeted subject, if you will.
Nope.
It was just, I want to have you on and I want to interview you about whatever comes to mind or whatever he is interested in talking about.
Correct.
Some people would say,
Okay. Again, to my point, when you conduct interviews with people, sometimes they want you to send them the questions. That is why I don't like interviews. Most of the times when you conduct an interview with someone, why are you interviewing them? So Anton flew her out to have an interview with her that was pretty much based about anything. What? Huh? Make it make sense. So it was a business meeting, but you don't know what you were going to talk about when you got there. What, ma'am? Huh? What?
a cake bake. Do you feel it was?
What's a cake bake?
A cake bake is when I have a sort of a hidden agenda, if you will, for reaching out to a specific person, sort of making you believe that it's one thing and it could be something else. I may have insidious characteristics. And then once I'm able to lure you in, if you will, I sort of cake bake that situation, meaning that now I have your attention and I have you a part of my space, if you will.
Well, I've never heard of that, but I mean,
that's why
there could be people that can, but I can tell you right now, Anton was always like straight on for it, professional. Like there was.
Anton was straight on professional. I have never worked with him. I don't see him as a professional person at all. So for her to say he is a straight on professional person, how is it that we can watch his videos and we don't see professionalism? What, ma'am? Professional?
I'm not questioning his
No,
character.
I'm just saying like there's nothing really that would fit into what you were, what you're describing. Yeah.
So to you, based on my definition of cake bake, inviting you to come onto the show to have a conversation about no particular topic, or at least a topic that he would serve as a prowess, did not feel like a cake bake.
No, because, and especially, and let's be clear, especially in the independent podcasting space.
Sure.
Some podcasters are, particular. You and I would be amongst the top because a lot of them don't really have an actual angle.
So again, she portrays herself to be a journalist or this astute businesswoman that don't nobody know. Listen, I'm on YouTube and I'm gonna say don't nobody know me either. That's just how I view myself. You know what I mean? But lady, you are real low on a totem pole when it comes to this social media stuff. So the fact that you want to consider yourself this high level interviewer and give yourself so many accolades that you're the only one that sees these accolades. But even I consider myself being a very much so a beginner, even this being my third year. I still consider myself to be a very much so beginner. And I'll say because I just started doing this full time about 2 to 3 months ago. Okay. So she goes into saying that YouTube creators are just inviting people on their show with no topic to talk about. That is a lie. Nobody is paying for your transportation, your hotel, just to fly you out, because when you get here, we'll decide what we're going to talk about. That does seem very much cake bakish, because he spent his money to fly out a no-name person to just talk about whatever when you get here. He did it because he liked the way that you look, ma'am. That is it. That's all. It had nothing to do with any type of credentials whatsoever. Not trying to be funny, but I don't see any credentials that you have. They say that you are a singer. Even that, I say, give it up and maybe find something else. I'm not trying to be funny, but I would say she should probably try. I can't even remember. It's that website where, the girls be like, dressing seductively, and, she needs to go there, because I don't see the talent. And when I played you all the audio yesterday of Tasha K, who, she's been around way longer than me. She didn't see the talent either. So just not trying to be funny. I'm not saying this lady doesn't have talent. I just don't think she has talent for what she's trying to do. And I think it's very difficult for her, because it's just not in her. It's not in her.
Get around, they talk, they do this, that, and the third. So it's not uncommon that somebody might say, oh, I like what you said there. Hey, you want to come on and show? And it might not be anything in my field or lane, but that doesn't stop them from reaching out.
And where's the show taped?
So he tapes in Detroit.
So he's in Detroit.
Mhm.
So you had to fly out to Detroit?
Correct.
Did he or the show pay for you to come out?
Correct.
And did they pay for your room and board as well?
Correct.
So you stayed in a hotel. Actually, let me pose that as a question. Did you stay in a hotel?
Correct.
You did stay in a hotel. And you stayed alone in a hotel?
Correct.
Okay, just because these are questions.
Okay. I wanted to get to that point. She says she stayed in a hotel, okay? And that she stayed by herself in a hotel. Now, I wanted to bring this up because if you guys have been watching Anton for any amount of time, and I only know this because, I talk about his ass over here and his shenanigans. Well, Anton has an apartment, a condo, if you will, and he even mentions in this video that when his guests come to town, a lot of times they stay right here in his condo, which is a very nice condo, by the way. In all honesty, it seems way better than a hotel. So Micca goes into saying that she stayed in a hotel, but I'm just wondering, did she actually stay at Anton's extra place? Let's get into what Anton says here.
What's going on, friends? I promised y'all I would give y'all a little bit of a mini tour of my corporate space downtown. So as you come in, you're going to see a whole Detroit theme, Joe Louis all across the walls, the spirit of Detroit, and then more importantly, the views. We love the views. You can see the Ambassador Bridge. You can also see the Gordie Howe Bridge, which is not even open as a recording of this video. And then you can see all of downtown Detroit, which obviously we got a park all across the city, Motor City Casino, the Michigan train station, and then you can see the Hudson's building over there. A couple different tables to make sure that you can eat breakfast while overlooking Canada and the water. Also a 10-person table that we have meetings at. And then I have people that I'm having interviewing. Sometimes they stay at this apartment. In addition to that, got the high-end liquor, the low-end liquor. Well, it's kind of mixed up, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm dissing anybody. Furniture that seems like nobody sits on, but I actually sit on this furniture and watch TV. And then I make sure I get a really good view of my YouTube plaques, hopefully more to come, but Ambassador Bridge, 1928. Bob Lobo, 1926. Fox Theater, still standing, but completely redone. Greektown, 1967. The 67 riots absolutely destroyed Detroit, but it's cool. We here now. We back. But all white people on the Greektown photos. Woodward, 1916. A lot of people don't know that Woodward is the first paved road inside of the United States of America. Bedroom is not really important. Outside of the frame TV, which I kind of use as art because I don't really watch TV, but at the same time, it showcases different pictures and then it dims the light automatically because it adjusts to the environment. But it's waking up with no shades, just overlooking the city. It's absolutely awesome. And then we get over to the closet. Not much to see here, but a lot of historic pieces from my perspective. Some of the things that I've worn at shows, other things that I've worn at Patreon meetups. Gotta have a ton of hoodies to pick from and choose from while I'm down here. Gotta have a ton of 𝐬𝐲s. You're not really Detroit, old school Detroit, unless you got 𝐬𝐲s. And then last but not least, got a few dress clothes, Ralph Lauren, and then some boxes that I haven't opened up yet. What's going on, friends? I promise y'all.
Now, if you guys paid attention, what did Anton say? Generally, you know, when people come in, they stay at his condo. So the question is, Micca, did you stay in a hotel or did you stay at Anton's condo?
Come in, so I just want to bring some clarity. At what point do you believe the public and other people started paying attention to your friendship?
I think probably when I started to actually be a regular.
Okay, so give us that timeline from when he flew you out, you participated as a guest, you're done with the show, you fly back home. At what point from that last time up until you became a regular were you in communication with him?
So,
like months?
So after I did the first interview,
Sure.
Probably maybe a couple of weeks after the interview aired and Anton could actually see how it was doing, I got a really good response from.
She got a really good response from what? What was the response? A few thousand views. What was the response? I mean, it's not what you make on one video, it's what you continue to make on multiple. So you got a really good response. And then she's going to go on to say that the audience liked her so well that she became a regular on this show. Okay, she emphasized that people said that she was pretty, that she was smart, and she became a regular on the show based on that response. Okay, now the interviewer goes into asking Micca, does he recruit males? She said he does. She states that she was hired on as one of his regulars on his one of his channels. And she goes into saying what the channel name is. She also goes on to say that she is a paid 1099 employee. She said, he asked her what sealed the deal for her. Like, why did you want to work for Anton? Okay. So Micca states that she learned a lot from Anton when she first visited him. She said during the time that they spent together in Detroit, she saw his work ethic and she was able to learn a lot of stuff from him. And she said she felt that a lot of people hide this. And I've said this over and over and over again. There is no success stories. No, I shouldn't say there is no success stories. There is success stories in YouTube. And I think it's great to collaborate with people and you will learn a lot of things, but what worked for them may not work for you. You have to understand, instead of knowing where Anton is right now, know where he was. Go look at his first videos and how he was, going back and forth with different things until he found what it was he exactly wanted to do. So she's looking for overnight success. She saw his work ethic and thought that this will be a good opportunity for her to latch on, because what she wanted to do is do less work and think that she can bring his subs over to her channel. And you can bring some of his audience, but I believe the issue is her. It's not him. The audience will only pick you if they choose to. Now, it doesn't mean she can't get an audience. It just means she has to work harder. She goes into saying that Anton gives out NDAs, but she's not one that he gave an NDA to. So the interviewer is like, well, what makes you so special that Anton would not give an NDA to you? Then she backpedals and says, well, I don't know who has an NDA. I just know he gives them out. So a lot of, it just seems like she's wanting to make it seem like there was nothing going on. And I have a hunch to what was really going on, which I will tell you guys later. Now they get into, the question of how much do you make, which even with that, it was we're going back and forth because she's like, well, I don't want to tell how much I make, but then she had already agreed to tell the range. So it was like pulling teeth with that. She said it's between $2,000 and $3,500, which I thought is good for 2 days a week. So, you making between $2,000 and $3,500 for 2 days a week is what she states. Now, I'm going to skip the video up to the question that Anton is married. Okay, so we're going to kind of jump ahead a little bit here. I just wanted to kind of jump over a lot of that because I did take notes. But like I said, when I started to do this interview, I was like, oh my God, this is way too much. So it was more than, the notes could account for. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to get into that particular point of the interview. So just give me a moment here so I can kind of get you guys in the right space. So we're going to start at the place where, okay, wait a minute, y'all. Where he asks her, Anton is married and have you met his wife? So we're going to jump ahead. Because I think the rest of it, well, I know the rest of it I kind of explained to y'all. So give me a second here. Is it 3,500? Okay, y'all. 9. Okay. All right, give me a second. All right, y'all, I'm ready. It'd be kind of hard trying to get this going, but all right, give me a second. Oh, wait, I didn't share my screen. Duh. Oh boy. Give me a second. Give me a second here. Am I sharing it? Okay, I'm sharing it now.
Unless you want to specifically say how much.
I'm not gonna give a specific
Because that's the NDA characteristic.
No, that's my
Or you want to protect him?
That's
So
my
how
business.
much?
That's my business mindset because there are other people on that show. I do not know how much.
So then let's give a range. The range doesn't pinpoint the range.
That's why I said I can do the range.
Yeah, sure.
You asked me to pinpoint.
Sure. What's the range?
So I can do a range of anywhere between 2 to maybe 35.
To what? I don't know. You said $2,
$2,000 to
200.
35.
2,000
to 35.
to 3,500 a month.
Correct.
Okay, for your
I'm only on that show. So there are some people that are on 5 days a week. There are some people that are on 1 day a week. And for me, I'm only on Thursdays and Fridays.
Okay. So Thursdays and Fridays, you make a good amount of money just for Thursdays and Fridays?
Correct.
Yeah. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of what's been out there.
Mhm.
So I understand that Anton is married. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you're married.
Correct.
Correct. Have you met Anton's wife?
Yes.
How would you describe her?
She's very, when I say probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. That lady is probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And has Anton met your husband?
In person, absolutely not.
He has not met him in person. Has he met him?
Okay, we're gonna really concentrate on this part here because let me tell you the question. Has Anton met your husband? Y'all heard her say he has not met him in person. When you say he has not met my husband in person, I want y'all to put in the chat what that implies. It implies that he met him, he's spoken to him over the phone, maybe he's video call with him, but why would she imply he has not met him in person? Because she didn't think the interviewer was going to ask more questions, because you should say, no, he has not met him in person, but he ain't met him at all, because we learned that in this interview. Then when she's asked, well, what's the form of communication? She said, they don't have a form of communication. Girl, what? Has he met your husband? It is simple. It is a yes or no.
Phone or by in DM? What other form of introduction when you say not in person?
Because a lot of people assume that, when you have to see people, it has to be in person, or that if you don't meet them in person, then it's something or whatever. So
no, so I'm saying, what's the form of communication? That he met.
They don't have a form of communication where they talk back and forth.
Yeah, but you said he did not meet your husband in person.
No.
Is that to imply that he met him virtually?
No.
So he's never met your husband?
No.
And why is that?
No particular reason.
Sure.
Just I've never had to actually do anything where my husband was there. And so if he's there, like when we work together, is here, so my husband's come here. But
when we first met and worked together,
we were in person as well.
Your husband came.
Yeah, but we were here. We were here in the DC area. Yes, my husband came.
Yes.
So again, if he was here, then yeah.
Okay, so that was a great way for me to kind of give my commentary. So she definitely has a husband, and I know who her husband is. In the Tasha K's interview, and this is why I say I don't, Micca tells us that she has all these accolades from doing all of this commentary when she does not seem very comfortable on camera, because Tasha asked her about her husband, and based on her response, I thought she was lying. She seemed very uncomfortable when she interviewed with Tasha K, and hopefully Tasha releases that interview so you guys can see how she was acting, which she did not. You see how she's looking at him? She did not do this with Tasha K. So I do know who her husband is. I'm not going to say who her husband is because those are those people's business. But I can tell you this. I don't understand why she doesn't show her husband. The only thing I have saw, and I'll go into this in another video, is I don't think that she's as in love with her husband as she portrays. It may be a situation where he is a provider and, she's just riding that wave, because I don't believe that she, got this close to Anton without actually having a mission. Now that mission, I believe, was two-folded, and we'll talk about that in a later video, but she does have a husband. They sent me, I know, I got his information. I know what he does. And I'll say this, law enforcement. So it's like, girl, you hiding your husband like he a politician. Like, it don't matter who your husband is. If these folks are saying that, you're messing with somebody else's husband, it would make sense to say that you have a husband. So I don't believe that it doesn't seem, based on what I've saw, they don't seem to be in love. I mean, maybe it's on her side, but I don't know. It seems like she maybe run him. It seems weird, but we'll get into that later, honey. It's weird.
But most of my business dealings, and if not all, I usually have a manager or somebody else deal with that. So that's the reason why it's not a thing. But I talked to my husband about it.
How long have you and Anton been business partners or friends?
We're business partners, and
so you're not a friend, because I don't want to provide language that's inaccurate.
That's why I changed it.
Yeah.
We're business partners, absolutely.
You're not friends.
No.
Okay.
We're friends with.
So as you guys can see, she does not like specific words. Specific wording irritates her. But this interview gonna get real deep, and I love how this guy was so professional and he didn't let her slither away. Now, he's gonna get really deep into why have your husband has not met this man. Imagine you going to another state, meeting somebody that you don't even know. You didn't know if Anton was a weirdo that would have chopped your head off. You literally left your state of Detroit left your state of DC clout chasing in another state, not even knowing where you were going to find on the other side of that door. Anton booked your room, which meant that Anton could have got a key to your room. So the fact that your husband never met him is weird in itself. And again, we'll get into the dynamics of her and her husband. I'm not going to tell y'all who the woman husband is. I don't think that that's necessary, but I don't think, I think all that she put in to hide him, I don't understand why. I mean, but yeah, there is more to this. So let's get into it.
That we hang outside of business.
Not necessarily. Well, yes, correct.
Yeah, like
outside of business.
Yeah,
correct.
like not. We were, me and you were shooting here, and then we just get something. We just get something to eat afterwards, but we are doing business.
Yes.
I'm saying, hey, are you up? Are you available today? Or you want to go out to the blah blah blah?
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Do you believe it was important at some point for you to introduce your husband to Anton?
Yeah. Because
I'm sure his wife thought it was important to meet you.
So I can't speak on what his wife thought.
Correct.
But the one time that I would have is when we had an event here, but he had to work. So, I mean.
But have you made it a concerted effort to make it happen? We do what we want to do, when we want to do it, for whom we want to do it for. And if something is really important to you and your family, either on your end as a wife, you absolutely make a concerted effort for this man. Or,
go ahead.
Or Anton, as a man, says, I want to meet your husband just because you're married, and I don't want any messaging or anything else to be misconstrued by him or the public. So it's fair that I introduce myself. Has that conversation happened?
No, that conversation has not happened. And I understand what you're saying. My thing, again, my business dealings is normally with me, my manager, things like that. But it's not without my husband knowing. So everything that I do, every place that I go, everything that I'm going to be doing, my husband knows. And I have to actually talk about it with him, tell him what I'm doing, things like that.
How did you reassure your husband this was strictly business? Like, if my wife is flying to another state.
Because.
Now, keep in mind, y'all, she goes into saying that her husband knows everything. And this is why I say this interviewer was absolutely immaculate, because her husband did know everything. In fact, she went to a game and he was able to get her to confess that her husband knew about that after the fact. But then she's backpedaling, fighting for her dear life again. And she goes into saying, well, I posted the picture. And it kind of reminded me of Anton and the way he act, because she says, oh, I posted the picture because if I wanted him not to know, I wouldn't have posted the picture. Yeah, very weird.
At some point, I'm going, or I need to meet this person in person. And it doesn't matter to me if he's single or married. It doesn't matter to me if he feels that he wants to meet me. I want my wife to be very committed and loyal to the idea of her business engagements I should be comfortable with as a husband. Do you understand?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Sure.
But my thing is, I think a lot of people sometimes misconstrue is this. You guys separate for some reason, independent from like big conglomerates, right? So if there's a person that has a business,
Sure.
it automatically changes from if Disney calls you, right? Because
and so this part was very irritating because it had nothing to do with anything that he was saying. In fact, she's trying to justify flying to meet a total stranger with saying, oh, it was Anton. He's a big creator and I had a direct connection to, to him. Now, if it was Disney, no, it wouldn't be Disney, because Disney wouldn't be talking to you, because nobody knows who you are. But in fact, if it was Disney, it would be a situation where it is corporate and it is professional. And we don't have a dude reaching out to you to say, hey, I want to interview you. You want to come to Detroit? So it doesn't have the weird, ideology attached to it. But let's get into what this girl had to say. It was totally unrelated, and it was irritating because it was giving bimbo. It was giving, I'm fighting for my life. I'm just going to say anything at this point, because none of this related to what he was saying.
There have been other things that I have done as far as movie sets and other things that my husband has not gone to.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody would bat an eye if I'm talking to the director or if I'm going to meet, for a shoot for this or that. Your spouse is not always coming. And so I think the notion that just because it's this person, and I understand that people have their own thoughts and perceptions of people, but I think a lot of the times when it comes down to people who are in independent media, they think it's more of a personal level, and still it's business.
Yeah. But I think what people may feel befuddled or confused by is, at some point, you put the business aside when rumors are brewing, when images are plastered all over social media.
Now you're talking about.
Now she starts to overtalk him. At some point, we don't care about nothing you're talking about, ma'am, when you are being dragged on the internet because everybody think you're messing with somebody else's husband. Come on, husband. Come on. It's time for you to meet him. None of that has taken place. This is weird.
Year later.
Okay, so before a year later, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. Has there ever been a concern from your husband about your business relationship with Anton?
My business relationship, absolutely not. Because one, he can watch it. Like, he can literally sit there and watch it. And then two, if he has a concern or anything he wants to know, I just tell him.
Has he ever been incredulous? Skeptical? Has he been with your flying out there, or depending on how long you stay, or just the mere fact that I never even met this person? Has he just had that sort of incredulity, if you will, about not meeting your male business partner?
So I think he would like to be, more involved with coming out there. But again, and you know what my husband does for a living.
Sure.
So it's not feasible.
No, it's feasible because here's how I see it. If Anton has to get on an airplane and come and meet your husband out of respectability, then that's what a man does.
If that
So it's
was
feasible.
I was talking about feasible for if anytime I have to get up and go do something. And it's not.
Oh, I know that because your husband hasn't always been on the show when we were doing something. So I get that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean by it's not always feasible. But if it was to that point where he wanted to have, Anton do something, or if it was, well, I want to go,
Sure.
that would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it's never I don't, how should I say it? I don't give I need to hide this.
Do you guys see something wrong with this relationship between her and her husband? Listen, I done have boyfriends that be like, hold on, wait a minute. Girl, this is your husband, somebody that you have vowed to spend the remainder of your life with. And he don't care about you flying across town to meet somebody that you had interactions with online. Hoes come up missing for that very action that you just did. I think there's something deeper with her and her husband because this don't make sense. I don't know a man that is going to feel right with his girlfriend going to another state to meet a man that she doesn't know. That gives weird. It gives very much weird. But we'll drill down on that relationship, like with her husband. Like I said, I'm not, gonna show his picture, none of that, but there's something else deeper there.
But that's it. It's just, I just really feel that because this is independent, that we are not looking at it as business because
what is independent?
Because this is okay, so this is your business here.
Sure.
I can talk to you directly instead of having to talk to 1,001 people
Yes.
to get to you.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
With that, it's still a business,
Yep.
but I can talk directly to you. So I can talk directly to Anton. So being that I can talk directly to Anton, I think people get a sense of that, well, because you can do that, then now it's something more happening if you go meet with this person.
Yeah.
Versus looking at it still the same. Yeah, this is not a big corporation, but this is still business. And this is still a person that is going to be employing me, contracting me, whatever. That still has to happen. If I was flying to Disney has to pay for my room.
Yeah.
I guess she want to be on Disney real bad. But do you guys notice in the picture how now she's wearing her ring? We can go back and watch very many videos of Micca. There's no ring there. Now, suddenly the ring is back on her finger. This woman is manipulative. She knew exactly what she was portraying with Anton. Was she trying to use him because she knew that he was dumb? She knew that he would pay. She knew that there was a great possibility that she could leverage his platform to get where she was trying to go. Let's continue to watch.
Yeah. Disney has to do this, that, and the third. And so again, I think because it's a singular person that is easily accessible per se.
That's right. Yep.
Now it's a different notion. Well, this must be for this instead of looking at it as business.
So let's call a thing, if you will. And I want to really drive it home. Mm-hmm. Has Anton ever flirted with you?
Flirted with me as a sense of what? Just naturally, like we're sitting here, or
has Anton ever flirted with you? It is yes or no. Unable to answer straightforward questions indicates that you are lying. That's what that means.
Or because I'm gonna explain.
Well, I don't
what
want to
mean.
get into
No, because-
wordsmithing.
No, there's no wordsmithing.
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking.
Because then I want to talk about
No.
some pictures too.
No, yeah,
Okay.
I got you. But
Yeah.
the reason why I'm asking is because there's two different things, right? So Anton does things for content, and then there's things that Anton would do if we're just sitting here.
Okay.
So if you're saying personal bully, if me and Anton was just sitting here, no. Now, if you're talking about for content, when we're doing the virtual rooms and things for the show, Anton has said multiple things. So that's why I asked, which one are you talking
So
about?
let me hear a few of the multiple things that he said that was a flirt.
What people would consider if he's, saying.
Not people what you considered as a flirt.
I would say probably if he's like, oh, Micca, you're so sweet, or you're so cute, right? But the problem that I have with it is because I know he's doing it for content, right? And he's not actually talking to me. However, I will say what I probably should have paid more attention to
Sure.
is the fact that
He's doing what for content? Saying that Micca, yeah, she was with me and she was looking fine too. He was doing that for content. He has referenced you very many times, and the fact that you were comfortable with it.
people take content as real life instead of just content, right? Because I come from a world where I know entertainment is entertainment, and people say this and that, with reality shows, all of that is just for entertainment.
She comes from a world where she knows entertainment. She knows all these things, but nobody knows who the hell she is. And she's exhausting as fuck.
The cameras cut off and they don't really hate each other. They talk to each other.
But has he said those things to you privately?
No, and that's why I asked
It's
you.
all been on the show?
Yes, that's why I asked you
Yeah.
the difference. And that's why I wanted to make that distinction. Because if I just said, yeah, he said this word, you would probably think it's just because we're sitting here. That's why I said no. He has done it for content while we're all, and mind you, he says it to not just me, other women on the panel.
And how did you feel when a married man said that to a married woman?
Again,
How did you feel when a married man says this to a married woman? Listen, I'm not even married. If I'm in a relationship, you know that I'm in a relationship. I probably know you're in a relationship. You ain't finna be, because I'm gonna be like, dude, come on now. This is it. That gives weird. Listening to this happen to you with Anton, and you didn't think that it was weird, makes me realize that you were on your own shit. While Anton thought that, he could probably get a little something, you were going to use it to your benefit.
at first, because you don't understand,
Who doesn't
content.
understand?
Meaning, well, I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
So again, being on YouTube, when you don't understand certain bounds of YouTube panels and things like that, people on panels say all types of egregious stuff or whatever to get reactions from the crowd, right? And so you might personally take stuff a certain way when they were just doing it as a reaction to get people in the crowd.
And so how did you feel?
I didn't feel a certain way. I didn't say anything because I was a little off-putted. But once I understood what he was trying to do, I'm like, okay, well, you can't say this and that and the third. It's okay if you're like, okay, I have beautiful women on my panel, that is fine, right? Because people can acknowledge that people look and look nice and things like that. But it's when it becomes personalized that it looks funny to the audience.
How does his wife feel? Has his wife Rita ever expressed to you her disdain, or have you heard her discuss something with him about her disapproval of saying that to you on the show? Even because here's
Go ahead.
well, let me just say this just before you answer. I think there's a line you draw in the sand when I say something because it's content. So I'm producing content here. I'm doing a show. And if I say to you, knowing your husband, wow, you look so beautiful and you're so gorgeous. Boy, I wish we could probably just go for a nice drink. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, but he's never said that to me.
Yeah, but
That's totally different.
he may not have used my words. I'm just saying.
No, he's never done that, period. Like, oh, well, let's go for it.
But he's called you beautiful.
Oh, yes.
And gorgeous.
Yes.
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 On the show.
Yes.
And to you, that's not a problem. Because it's happened more than once.
Correct.
And I'm not trying to make it a problem.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Let me answer your question. So, yes, he said beautiful, gorgeous, whatever. But there's not like, well, I want to take you to the whatever, or let's do this and this and that. And it's just.
Well, he's taking you somewhere. Let's look at this picture. You guys were at.
So you see how this woman is getting on my damn nerves. So now she's put herself in a chokehold. Oh, but he's never said, I'm going to take you here. But he did take you there. Let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
When you say he wanted to take me somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
now I'll be honest. When I saw this picture,
Mm-hmm.
I was flabbergasted.
Why?
Because
Wait.
Sure.
So go back to what you were
Yes.
saying, because you can't intertwine the two. So you were asking,
Sure.
was he expounding on
Flirt.
on the certain type of things that he says? And we were talking about him saying it's beautiful, whatever, but not expounding in that way.
Yes.
Now, what is your question that you're asking now?
Well, I think I
you've
asked
gone
you,
from-
was it disrespectful? Did you feel that it was disrespectful? And I think you answered it by saying no, because you realize that it's content and people do these shows and they say things. And you also clarified it by saying outside of the show, that has never happened. Would that be correct, what I heard?
Right,
Yes.
but you use the hook at the end to say, well, he's taking you somewhere.
Well, I think you said something, and we can probably roll it back in post-production. You said something about when we go places or he takes me somewhere. And that's what made me say.
So what I said was he's not adding on to the beautiful or gorgeous, saying, dang, you're so
correct.
gorgeous
Yes.
that I want to take you to the whatever, so we can do this.
And I thought we clarified that because I said those are my words. That's what I said. And you did say he doesn't say that.
No.
Right. And I didn't want to put words in his mouth, but I wanted to be clear. So let's go to the picture.
Okay.
Tell us about this. How did this happen?
So this was the day that we did the interview. So
The show did an interview, or just you and him?
This was my interview day.
The first day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So this is my interview day.
The first day you meet somebody, it is supposed to be an interview, and it turns into a date. Now, I tried to find this video. I did a review on it before. I believe she has taken this down. Now, in this particular video, which she'll go to say that, oh, it got so much attention. What the people were saying in the comments is this looked like a date. That is what the people were saying. So the comments were pretty much saying, like, what is this? Is this a date? Because it did not seem like an ordinary interview. But again, I tried to find this video, and I believe she has taken it down.
Because you can go and you can see the outfits, the same
Sure.
outfit, same everything. Now, what he is doing here is he had already a business meeting set up there.
Oh, y'all, I just noticed something. Oh, this is good. Y'all gonna like this. Okay. I just noticed something here. And I'm gonna stop it because what we have learned with Micca is, I have heard that she was married before, but there was never a ring on her finger. But we know in this interview, she has her ring on. Now, let's look right here. Okay. Now, I ain't cross-eyed, but is that the ring on a different finger? It almost looks like it's on this finger. Is it on this finger? Or this? I think it should. She has it. Is that the ring that she has on today, but on a different finger? I don't know, y'all. Something ain't right about this. Something definitely is not right because we see her with a ring on today, but is this maybe her ring that she ain't wearing?
So there is.
That's what he told you.
No,
correct?
that's
No,
what happened.
no, I'm not saying that's what he told you as if that was a cake bake. He told you he had a business meeting and you were invited.
No.
Okay.
So again, back there, probably like on the first level there is an area where if you have, your high roller seats and things like that, you I don't know what they call it there in Detroit, but here in DC, they call it maybe the Ultra Club and things like that. Where all the people that have club seats, things like that. Yeah. You have, of course, conference rooms, other things up there. And back there is where he had his meetings. He met a couple of high profile people. They were talking about sponsorships. They were talking about interviews, a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. I still don't think you.
This doesn't make sense. He met a bunch of high profile people and they talked about sponsorships. Baby, look, girl, this is why you don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't need to meet anybody to talk about sponsorships. You can meet them. People meet online over the internet. They talk on the phone. I've had sponsorships where I ain't never met them in person. They saw my content and reached out. So she wants to school everybody on the way business works. Well, business works online. That's how it works. You can meet people in person, but generally, if someone wants Anton to, advertise for them, they would look at his content. So let's just let it play out.
Question. What I'm trying to
ask, what was I doing there?
How did, because I said he had a business meeting and invited you,
Correct.
And you said no. So you didn't fall out the sky. They didn't open up the dome and you came down on a harness into the meeting. So what I'm saying is
hold on. Answer your actual question.
So this is what I'm saying. The interview is over. The one-on-one interview is over, correct?
Correct.
What does the conversation sound like to invite you to come here?
Okay.
Because I said you were invited and you said no.
Okay. So no, that's not what I said. But
we're gonna play it back.
Nevertheless, so again, he had business meetings there, and he said, well, I got a couple meetings at the game, and these people I think will be good for you to meet. I said, sure.
And you were the only one from the team that went, or were there other people? I know you were on the interview.
I wasn't at a team then.
No, I'm saying.
These would be good people for her to meet. Sponsorships. Why would they be looking for Micca with a sponsorship and she doesn't have an audience? And first you need to have an audience. Because if you don't have an audience, what are they paying you for? Because you have nobody to show whatever it is they're selling. You don't have anybody to show it to.
The interview was his staff, his production. Like you have camera people, producers, etc. So the production is over. Did he not only apprise you that he was going and invited you, were there other production people?
Well,
we all have gone out together after production.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, again, you have production people and everything, all that other good stuff. Anton does everything himself.
Yes.
And I do mean all of it. Unless sometimes, like if he has something else going on, there may be another person there because they maybe have to help him with something else. But if it's only like one thing that he's doing outside of his own videos,
Sure.
it's only him.
So his wife wasn't there.
At this one, no.
Right. So you flew out for an interview.
Mm-hmm.
You went to his studio or
Mhm.
place of production.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all did an interview, and it's just you guys. Correct?
So I flew to Detroit, got to the hotel, okay, got to the
He
studio.
booked a hotel for you, the location.
Correct.
Okay.
Got to the studio. His wife came past the studio. That's when I first met her.
Sure.
But she did not stay.
Okay. Let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to be too investigatory, but it gives foundation.
Mhm.
How far is the hotel from the studio and from his home, if you knew that?
I've never been to his home. So
Well, you don't have to go to a person's
You
home.
said from his home, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know that. Okay, fair enough. From the studio. Give or take 5, 10, 15 minutes or more.
I say maybe 10 or 15.
Okay, 10 or 15. So then he says,
It's all downtown.
it's all downtown. So he says, hey, I got this business meeting. I'm going to this game. Would you like to go with me?
Mhm.
And obviously you said yes, because you weren't forced into going.
Not I got this game. I got this meeting. Go
I
ahead.
have this meeting.
Mhm.
Okay, so if I'm looking at this picture, are you all on the floor at a basketball game?
Correct. That's the floor.
Okay, at a basketball game.
Correct.
So you went to a basketball game. Did you watch the game?
No, this picture right here, we probably sat on this court maybe 10 minutes.
Oh,
We
I
were
see.
in the
So,
back.
so a meeting, and then y'all just went on the floor to take a picture.
No, we just went on the floor and we sat there maybe 10 minutes. And then they had their,
Sat there 10 minutes to watch a game.
So I'm going to show y'all, or I should say show y'all, what this was is Anton trying to impress this girl. This had nothing to do with a business meeting. He just met her. How comfortable is he with a whole stranger to the point where I'm inviting you to the game? I'm going to bring you to the game. My wife is not going to come with me to the game while I'm conducting business, but I'm going to bring you. This Negro was showboating and trying to show off, and she was loving every minute of it. Again, I know who her husband is. I shouldn't say I know who he is, but I was able to find who he was by some information that, some people sent to me, but just seems like a regular hardworking person. Okay. I ain't gonna say Anton don't work hard, but the money Anton makes in a month is probably what her husband makes in a year. It ain't all about money, but she's making it about money. Let's get into what she says next.
He wanted to see a little bit of the game. Said there maybe about 10 minutes. The quarter ended, went right back to the back.
Okay, and was his wife invited with you guys to the business meeting?
I don't know if she was invited or not.
Was she
but
there?
if she was there, no.
She was not there.
Mm-mm.
Okay, in that moment, did you feel awkward?
No, because I was there for a meeting. So
But you had nothing to do with the meeting, right?
Let me finish.
Sure.
I was there for a...
You had nothing to do with the meeting, ma'am. Nothing. Nothing to do with it.
Team, right? So he's already having his business dealings, whatever he's going to do. You're in business, you're in this crowd.
Sure.
You absolutely understand that there are networking opportunities. If I know so-and-so and I bring you with me
Sure.
and so-and-so sees you,
Correct.
you can make networking opportunities. And you also know that it does not happen in a vacuum. It does not happen in offices.
Correct.
It does not happen. You can be at the golfing.
Okay, where does this remind you guys of? This reminds you of Tasha K's interview, and I cannot wait until she releases it because Micca was prompted and told what to say and how to say it. Because if she keeps saying how meetings happen, it's rehearsed. This is not how business is done. If you are a content creator, the majority of what you do is online. So if you understand one thing, it is that you can make money online without leaving your house. So the fact that she keeps saying, oh, business doesn't always happen like this. Ma'am, you are a no-name person with no audience. Nobody is looking to advertise nothing with you, because if you don't have an audience, who are you advertising it to? Okay.
Be at the NBA games, all types of things. So again, kind of like just like the thing we were talking about with it just being the fact that it's just that person that is the business entity. I also think that when people don't know business, or people have never experienced what it's like to network, especially with people.
Now people don't know business. They don't know how to network and all of this other bullshit.
Upper echelon, they don't understand.
The issue is she want to be the elite. She want to be the upper echelon, because people that rub elbows with wealthy people and people that got money, they ain't online telling everybody. But people who's not used to it, just like people who ain't used to money, aka Anton, you come online and you show your money because you never had it. Oh, I'm going to talk about the rich and the upper echelon because you want to be a part of that. See, this is what drew her to Anton. It's the money and how he throws it around, because, honey, working is difficult. And she has a husband that works. I mean, he works, okay? So she has found a connection to money where Anton is making a wealth of money in 1 month while her husband is working a whole year. Now, it's nothing wrong with that, but I believe this is what drove her to Anton.
And that these things don't happen in just offices. These things don't happen in a particular place. So there are a lot of high rollers and business people. Like there were people there that were part of the NBA.
Sure.
The guy that owns the actual arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
All there.
Yeah.
All the mayor, like all there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, the former mayor.
The former mayor, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the difference, and you know this because we work together.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to how critical it is for the male that you're working with, particularly when it's sort of independent and we are being seen and these sort of pictures come about. It's important to meet and know your husband. And I'm not saying he isn't a man of character, because I don't know Anton. And I'm not here to vilify him. I'm just going based off how things look and what the concerns have been in the public.
I understand, but that's why I don't mind. That's why I don't mind talking about it, because there's nothing nefarious that I ever had going on. And again, I never do anything unless my husband knows.
So your husband knew that you were going to this business meeting?
My husband knew that I was where I was.
No, that's not. Let's be very clear with language. So I want to be clear with my question. Okay. Did your husband know that after the show, the interview was over, you were going to a basketball, not a basketball, you were going to a meeting at an arena where a basketball game was?
I don't remember if I told him before or after, but I did tell my husband. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you told him. But
of course.
When you say you don't remember.
I call bullshit. Remember, we're females. You don't recall the language or the communication with your husband as it related to a man that ain't your husband, because you want to make sure your husband is informed of what's going on. This is flat out bullshit.
Like, or after?
Meaning, like,
is it fair to say you told him after?
No, it's not fair.
Because how do you not remember that?
Because I don't remember everything about that day.
No, but you're a married woman who goes, and I want to be fair to you, but I want to
because to me,
what did Tasha K say in her interview? You don't move like a married woman. Coming from a woman, now I'm speaking the same thing as a woman. This is a man. This woman does not move like a married woman. And we'll get into later some of the issues with her relationship. What the hell is she saying? Everybody is pretty much saying the same thing. You don't move like a married woman, ma'am.
That I'm doing is business. So again,
But a married woman doesn't forget if she told her husband she went somewhere
because
before or after.
No, you're trying to pinpoint a time frame, and I'm telling you, I don't remember my time frame.
Not a
but
time frame.
I tell my husband everything. So yes, I did, and I posted this. This is my picture.
Yes.
So again, if I was trying to hide it,
if
I didn't want my husband to know it, I would have never posted.
So you think posting it makes you innocuous?
No, I'm telling you that I don't hide anything. I have nothing to hide. And so if I wanted to hide something from my spouse, I would have never.
Let's look at the next picture. I thought the next picture was really, really interesting. And in this next picture.
But wait, why are you leaving that one? Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving that one?
What is there more you want to expound?
No, but it's something that you want to expound on because
you said why I'm leaving that picture to go to the next one because I felt like you gave clarity. What I heard you say was it wasn't a basketball game I was invited to. Correct. I was invited to a business meeting.
Correct.
I heard you say I went for an interview and after the interview I was asked and I accepted the offer.
Okay.
I heard you say that I apprised my husband or you told your husband this is where you were going. You couldn't remember if it was before or after, but either way, your husband knew. And the final thing you said was you posted the picture.
Correct.
I have nothing further. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Next picture. I was flabbergasted by this picture.
Okay, tell me why.
Because there's no way.
Let me just give my commentary on this. If you guys have saw my videos, if you've been following my channel, I told you guys that I came across Anton. I did not want to go in on him just based on one video. So I was like, let me just watch more. And at some point I came across this. Now, me being a woman and not a man, this is disrespectful. This is disrespectful. For any married woman, even look how she's leaning up on him and his hand, on her bare back or, it's just, this is not the way that a married woman moves.
Wife would be physically touching, leaning on a married man, leaning on a single man, leaning on another man in a way that suggests, I'm feeling you, I like you. This is really some sort of.
Why do you think that says I'm feeling you?
Even if it doesn't say I'm feeling you, I don't want my wife.
Why do you think?
Yeah.
Why do you think that suggests that I'm feeling you? Because
okay, let's
hold on. The reason why I'm asking you, the reason why I'm asking you is I have tons of pictures of our former co-host.
Yep.
With the same lean, everything.
But here's the difference.
Hold on.
Yes.
And that person is also a male. All right. And we have a working relationship and it's the same exact type of picture.
But here's the disrespect. This is a married man that you are physically leaning into.
I'm not leaning into.
That to me.
I'm not leaning into.
To me, let me and here's my perspective of it. There's a gap between it, but I'm looking at how you have a smile on your face. This is just my perspective. Your eyes look seductive. Just my perspective. And your arm is relaxed on his upper shoulder.
Correct.
And
let's get into that part, the seductive look. And I have said this after now finding out this woman actually has a husband. The seductive look. Anton was doing what he always do with his host. Didn't he say, I did a video on it, that they need to be able to give up the coochie? So I believe Micca knew what he was about and she was going to use it to her advantage. seduction. You see that in the interviews that she did with Anton, and he's complimenting her on how beautiful she is. She is being very seductive, and this guy is able to call her out on it.
Ever imagine a married woman leaning on a business male partner that way? That to me is inappropriate.
Okay.
If you were my wife,
Okay.
I would have a serious problem. My problem would be so serious, you would have to probably extinguish your contract with him.
Okay.
This just because, and I will also feel a little uncomfortable that this gentleman obviously did not either push you away or suggest that we shouldn't take this type of picture. I've never met your husband. I fly you out here once or twice. This is this may not be the first time. So which point was this? Not that it matters if it was the third time, the fourth time.
This is the second time.
Oh, goodness. The second time?
This is the second time I'm out there. Not the second time I'm dealing with Anton.
Okay, so what's and it doesn't matter to me, but what's that gap between the first time you're there, he takes you to a business meeting at a basketball game, and you guys are sitting on the floor like you are
that we're working together? And it's not like that.
But that's not working together.
Go back to what you just said.
Hold on, is that working together?
No. Go back to what you just said.
Which part?
It's not that. No, you said a couple.
Well, pick one.
No, you said sitting on the floor like you are a couple.
Yeah, listen, I'm not.
But you're interjecting your own thoughts, especially.
I'm giving you my perspective.
But your perspective is after I told you. So to put something else there.
Okay, I see. That's fair. Okay, so
something else on it.
I think that's a fair point. I don't want to spin it. What I want to say is messaging, imagery is critical because imagery is messaging.
Correct.
And a lot of times on the Jumbotron at a game, we often see couples, whether you're high up or you're on the floor. A lot of times when people are on the floor, you see.
Do you sit at the game?
Do I sit at the game?
Correct.
Yes.
Do you sit at the game on the floor?
I have.
No. Do you all the time?
No.
Okay. All right. So who have you met at these games on the floor?
This is my show, not yours. I'm not answering.
Okay. And the reason is I get you.
Your show, we can get into that.
However, the reason I asked you is to give perspective, right? Yes. Because what I found, because I'm usually in the skybox.
Yes.
When I'm here in DC, I'm in my box. I don't like to be down on the floor. That's not my thing.
Sure.
On the floor, there are family members there. They are some of those people. A lot of them are like business seats.
Yep.
So anybody from these law firms, offices, are down there on the floor.
Yep.
That I've never known who sits down on the floor because I don't care and I don't sit there, right? But by being there, I found out who was actually down there. Family members, business partners, all of that. That's what I meant.
Listen,
hold on.
Yes.
So again, I'm not disputing your perspective as far as people that don't know.
Yeah.
Right? That's fair. But when you are in that world, you are in the know, and you know more than just I would say the popular culture of who might sit down there, right? Because you might see your favorite rapper, things like that. But all those people that are sitting beside the rapper, you absolutely don't know why they're there.
But two married people shouldn't be sitting together without their spouses.
No. Now, see, and here we are again with you going back to something that's not, because you are essentially saying that I cannot do any business dealings with somebody that is in business because that person is married.
No, what I'm saying is somebody who's never met your husband.
Because if I go out with you or anybody else,
I met your husband.
Okay, but
the former host has met your husband.
We've already talked about that.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, you're saying because you don't know. You don't know when you're looking at that picture. You don't know if you met him or not.
I know he
No,
hasn't
no, no,
met
no,
your
no,
husband. When
because
I
I
looked at that, when I looked at that picture,
Mhm.
and maybe because
So here's my deal. Why are we going back and forth about if he has met your husband or not when we know he ain't met your husband? Because you already said it after saying, oh no, they didn't meet in person, all to find out they didn't meet in person, they didn't meet over the phone, they didn't meet online. He is doing a great job. This girl is taking no accountability in this, leads me to believe that there was something there. There was an opportunity for her to squeeze the FUCK and all she can out of Anton because he is in fact a trick. Okay. So she does not want to take accountability. And this is why she's jumping over, fighting for her life because she had a job that she was trying to do on Anton.
have inside knowledge.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why.
So my point is,
Yes.
you don't know.
But it does. I don't have to know
So
to
what
know
I'm
that that's
saying-
inappropriate. Let me say this, and maybe you just don't see it. You can't see how this could be construed.
That's not what I said.
Okay.
We just talked.
Okay. So do you see
We just
this as
talked
being
about.
inappropriate?
We just talked about what it can look like imagery.
So let me ask you. Forget the imagery. Is this inappropriate to you?
From my perspective, it wasn't because that's not what I was doing. But I told you, I can understand why people might have thought that, but I literally did not have anything going on or anything. Like there's nothing inappropriate going on. So me just leaning didn't seem like an issue to me.
Okay, so here's some hard questions I really, really need to ask you. First one is, it may not be as hard, but here it is. Are you going to continue working with Anton?
Well, I do not. Well, I have not been on after hours since the whole incident happened.
That's not answering my question.
I'm not finished.
Okay.
So I haven't been on after hours since the incident happened. And I felt that, there were a lot of things that I did not like about everything that went on. So with that, I decided to pull away from the show. So no, I am not.
Is that a permanent termination?
I am not.
Permanent termination?
Yes. I was only doing one show.
Okay, so you're no longer a part of it. Here's another very challenging question, but I have to ask you. I just have to ask you. Have you and Anton ever had sex?
No. No.
Any?
Hold on. No.
Okay. Any sexual relations?
No. It's always been strictly professional. And that's...
you could be professionally sexual.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Well, that's
so again, it's always been strictly professional. Strictly professional. Like I said, Anton has a persona online.
Okay.
I get his persona online, but personally, Anton hasn't done that to me.
Okay. What happened between him and 𝐸∫ Because the 5150 show, from what we all saw, you were there with Anton, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see you, but clearly Corey said your name. And I even saw a video that he said Micca can come and do the show. She could come here. I would love for her to come. What happened that was not visible to the public that you can share? Like, we saw a lot, but was there anything behind the scenes? Were the guys agitated initially? I remember, I think I saw something where you said that it was actually on your own show. You said, hey, Corey shook my hand. I met him and he knew I was there. What happened?
Okay, so we got to the studio and
let's back up a little.
Okay.
Again, here's another invitation, correct? It's another invitation from Anton, an invitation.
No, well, no.
Okay, so another invitation for Anton, and she says no. Girl, were you invited there by Anton? Because Corey said he didn't invite you. But do you see how she doesn't want to keep associating herself with going on trips with Anton? You, in fact, did leave DC and get on a plane because I don't think you drove, and you met Anton in LA. Okay. Anton don't live in LA, but do y'all see how she is fighting for her life yet again? And this makes it appear to be very suspicious because she is not answering the questions truthfully and honestly. She needs to give a whole statement, and it's really not necessary.
Corey, did Corey invite you?
No. So this is how this rolled out.
Sure.
So Anton decided to put together a podcast tour that he was going to do, and that he's still on, actually, that he was going to go to different locations. Cool. I am the only person on Anton's program that is an actual content creator, not a panelist, not a guest. I'm an actual content creator. So,
why are you the only one?
Because I'm the only one that wants to do content outside of Anton.
Are you the only beautiful one on his team?
That's subjective.
But
there's other pretty women there. But whatever you think, that's what you think. But there's other women.
Do you think you look better than his wife?
No, I'm not going to answer that question because that's just
no.
ridiculous.
I mean, again, these are things that were sent to me. People have said, "Can you please ask her how she feels?"
Why would I answer that? Why would I subject another woman to answering something that is absolutely insane?
But fair enough. Go ahead.
And it's disrespectful.
And that picture was disrespectful.
But she was there.
She was there at the second one?
Yes.
That second picture?
Yes.
Did she take the picture of you laying on her husband?
When he said, do you think you look better than his wife? This what came to mind.
Being married to Anton Daniels. Oh, wow. Times it can be hard and sad and difficult because Anton has a lot of different personalities, and so you have to be a certain type of woman to deal with. Anton is very emotional. He doesn't communicate effectively. I don't think that he has killed anybody before. I think he's capable. I've seen him angry before. He's just like a totally different person.
Well, here's my deal. I think looks are subjective. I don't think his wife is ugly. I mean, she's, she has her look. So it really depends on what people like. Now, some people will say, that his wife not cute. I don't think his wife is ugly. But you see how she skated around that question too. She know that she's cute, but she don't know if she looks better than his wife.
I sent you the video. Play that.
I'll show that video when she was sitting on his lap.
And what were we doing in the video?
I think I saw you in the back and maybe y'all were doing a show or something.
Yeah, we were doing an after-hour show.
And he told his wife to come on over and sit down.
Okay, let me get to that part, y'all. Wait, did we show it already? I think it did.
But I think
hold on.
you're
Now
using
you would no.
that isolated.
No, that's not isolated. That was the entire day. So
No, I mean isolated your history with him.
No.
Okay.
That the only one that she hasn't that she wasn't at was the first one at the game. Outside of that, Rita is there. Now, I'm not in charge of her schedule.
And that's even scarier.
She's there most of the time, which
I just think it's scarier
99.99% of the time.
I don't know her. I haven't spoken with her.
She does a lot of the business dealing. She does the emails. She does the scheduling because she actually scheduled my flight.
Sure.
She does those. So Anton is not the person that actually does it. He has an assistant, but a lot of the times his wife does it.
Yeah. And you do have husband-wife business partners. Yeah.
Tons of them.
Yeah. And sometimes those individuals, wife or husband, can be accepting of different arrangements.
Okay, but what does that have to do with me? My arrangement is business and personal.
Right, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, that arrangement, yeah.
So, no, it's not an arrangement. It's an actual business.
No, it's an arrangement.
No, words
by
matter.
Contract.
Words matter.
Yeah.
And
I'm very fastidious when it comes to
I
words.
know. And and you're also a fast talker. So I pick up on it.
I'm not that fast.
You fast. You fast, but I listen.
Sure.
However, no, she
Yeah.
does a lot of the bookings, so she knows who's coming in and out and things like that. But like I said, that last one that we were just talking about, she was there the entire time. That's why in the video I sent you, she just came on in. She had been sitting there the entire day.
Okay, going back to Corey. So you were there, you arrived, and the show starts.
No.
Well, let's skip past everything else and just get to the crux of it.
Okay.
What do you think really set off either Corey or Anton?
At what part?
At any part. You were there, so you may have witnessed or have seen characteristics that could have been combustible
I
and
think
sort
both
of
of them.
inflamed them.
I think both of them set each other off. Because you have two men that are good at what they do, two men that are trying to get their point of view across as what is the best view.
Sure.
And they don't not only not agree on political things, they don't agree on certain values.
Well, what's the issue? Because it
So
seems like
they're-
Corey doesn't like that Anton allegedly espouses white America's thinking, or he minimizes Black people, or his role as a conservative prowess, if you will, seems to demean and diminish the light of Black Americans. And Corey is perturbed and turned off by that. And Corey, therefore, or maybe Anton Corey said something about sucking, male parts or something. And I think what actually happened? I can't remember who said what.
So
I think Corey said
kissing white people's
behind. Yeah.
And then Anton said, well, you sucked Black people.
Yes.
And he just didn't like the sucking comment.
Yeah. Now I was disturbed that honestly Corey was that upset. I get the respectability component.
I thought it was just a bat, because you just said, I kiss somebody's butt, so I'm just up in this one. Well, you do this to Black people, and a lot of people, use that.
Yeah, but in the urban Black community, you can't say to another man, suck something. But I also think Anton had a right to say what he said about, you can't tell me that I'm kissing somebody's behind.
Correct. And you can't tell somebody how they feel about the disrespectful comment.
That's correct.
Some people may not feel that, saying you kiss white men, but if you feel the way Corey feels, then maybe you don't, because you think it's appropriate.
I think Anton handled that so respectfully.
I thought the exchange, was warranted how both of them went, but I didn't think it needed to be elevated to where.
And I say respectfully in the sense that Anton didn't allow it to get physical, because I thought Corey was about to dog him. When if Anton had said one more time what Corey told him not to say, for some reason I thought, wow, he may punch him. But then I was disappointed to see two Black men.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
I didn't like it. One, because there were myself and Darlene and other females in the studio.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that. Especially with men, I think you should be able to handle things cordially.
Why did Corey call you a bitch?
I don't know why he called me one, honestly.
Yeah, are you going on the show? Will you go?
Am I going on his show? No, not to my knowledge.
But I think publicly he said Micca could come. If Corey invited you to 5051, will you show up?
Probably not. And the reason why I say that is the same way, I can accept an apology. I can accept somebody saying a wrongdoing. I accept people make mistakes, and I'm not putting that above anything. But I understand what that show is now. And so I don't think I fit, the audience too much. And I don't think, I would provide any value.
What is it?
So wait a minute. Now she says she doesn't feel like she fits the audience of Corey's show, but you flew all the way to LA to be on his show. So are you telling me you did no research and you were going to go on a show that now you say you don't feel as if you fit the audience? Do y'all see how this woman will do anything for clout? So you mean to tell me you were gonna go on a show that you had done, you did no background investigation, you didn't know anything about the show, but you was willing because you was thirsty to get on a show of a Corey Holcomb because you knew that that would give you just a few more followers. But now after he called you a B, now you're saying, well, wait a minute, maybe this show isn't the show for me. I don't believe my commentary will be in line. Girl, this don't make sense because why you fly all the way there? You see what I'm saying? This is why I believe that Micca uses everything that she got and what she can to get what she wants. This lady is something else.
That you want people to walk away with today? What truth do you want people to walk away with? And what more do you want to say about all of what we discussed today? Anton, Corey, your business relationship, your husband. We've touched on so many categories. So let's start with the first one. What truth do you want people to walk away with?
Not what truth. There's only the truth.
Sure.
The truth really honestly is that there are lessons. There are...
Oh, this is good. I love lessons. What's the lesson that you extracted from this experience? Because your life was speaking to you. Do you understand that?
I learned a valuable lesson. Outside of your wordsmithing, outside of your wordsmithing, I do think it is important for your spouse to meet everybody. Right?
Thank God we made progress.
Oh no, I wasn't ever not.
So now at the end of this broad says she think it's important for your spouse to meet everybody. Was this not what he was asking the entire time? Girl, what?
Agreeing with you.
Sure.
I just still wanted you to understand that there wasn't anything nefarious there.
Yeah. On whose part?
On
yours, because you can't speak for anyone else.
Correct.
Yes.
But so I didn't want that to be misconstrued in what you were asking.
Sure.
But I do think it's important because, if and not that he would even be online talk, because he's not going to do that.
Sure.
But just to be able to have that sense of if something like this happens, you understand, other people can have an understanding that, that person definitely knows what's going on, even though.
So the issue here is her husband was well aware of everything that was going on online. So now what she's saying is maybe if her husband had met Anton, he would understand. But do y'all see how weird this is? She has a whole life separate that her husband know nothing about, but he found out based on everything people were saying online. Isn't that kind of weird that you live in a house with somebody, they don't know who you're doing business with, you're flying over here. Of course, you're telling him it's a business arrangement, but you're literally flying out to meet somebody's husband to potentially stay in their condo to now be at a game with this same man. Yeah, so she now feels like her husband should have met him because of what? The backlash?
Does. Absolutely. I've told him this, that, and third goes on. This is what we're doing. This is the paperwork with this, blah, 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 whatever. But when you have somebody, you know, like you or others that are asking questions, I don't have to try to defend something that isn't happening. That absolutely isn't happening. And so I think the best way to put it is not having to make something a thing when it's not a thing. And not having to have things appear a way. Because I can tell you in each one of those pictures, that's literally just chilling
And
the
most
entire time.
And most importantly, if I can impose, most importantly, making your family a priority, making your husband
my family is definitely a priority.
Well, again, we're talking about imagery. The public doesn't know behind the scenes. You're a public figure. You do a show, I do a show, you put things out there, and you have to be responsible for the images that you put out, but also the images that you are participating in, and be a very conscious, clear, and very divine woman who walks with the knowledge of knowing that any man that you deal with as a married woman should meet your husband if it's a contractual ongoing relationship. It doesn't mean that some new guy starts working at the job, your husband needs to know. No, but if you're doing business and if this person you're opening your life up to, you're flying somewhere, God forbid you could have flown somewhere and that would have been your last flight.
Well, I mean, that can happen regardless whether my husband meets somebody or not.
Yeah, but it's critical to have your husband an integral part of your decisions when you're out here making them.
And he's still, and my husband's very much a part of my decisions because again, I don't move. Yeah. And I have to explain to my husband where I'm going. I don't get to just get up and go.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's always there. But what I'm talking about, one, the public wouldn't even know whether I did or didn't. Yeah. So me giving you this interview and telling you that it's something that the public would never even know.
Yeah. But let's remove the public thinking for a second and just perhaps think about maybe how your husband felt. I'm not going to speculate how. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think all the images plastered all over social media, he felt good?
I'm not going to do that either.
You're not going to do what?
I'm not going to say what my husband felt like. My husband.
Did you and your husband have a conversation?
Figure, so I'm not going to.
Right, I'm right, but I'm just saying, did you and your husband have a conversation about?
Her husband is not a public figure. The question was, how did your husband feel about the images that were plastered all over social media? Nobody said, what's your husband's name? Where he worked? Although I know where he worked. What he do for a living? This is weird. This is weird. The question was, how did your husband feel?
What he was exposed to. He sees images on social media.
Oh, you mean, okay, so are you talking about this incident?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now go ahead and ask the question.
So what I'm saying is, when your husband sees these images, what I'm saying is, it's not important what the public sees or thinks, but it's perhaps what your husband and your family feel when they open up YouTube.
So those pictures have been sitting there for a year.
Well, not just those pictures. I'm just saying the most recent thing when you went with Anton to Corey's show, and things was just, there was a recent conversation about you being the side chick. So
so that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the images are not.
But those images corroborated. But those images corroborated a narrative that people wanted to put out there.
That they
had something to use.
Well, they have. You can. Let me phrase it this way. You can use whatever you want to create a narrative, but again, those images have been on my Instagram for over a year.
And that's a beef I had with you. Why is this man on your Instagram and not your husband?
So I don't want to put that in.
Okay.
Because
But do you
then that
understand?
pulled me to pulling his mindset in. And he's not sitting here talking.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But no other males. So these are the takeaways. No males on your Instagram.
I wasn't finished. So
Okay.
we have the lessons.
Yes.
And we have
So what was the first lesson again you said you got from this?
just being, so what the takeaways are: first, lessons. Understanding that even though this is all business, this is above board, the public may perceive something a certain way, and you just have to be aware of how they may perceive it, even if it's not that.
Correct.
So not to give the public something to make a thing when it's not a thing, and having to defend a lie, because now when people ask me a question about that situation, it's to defend something that absolutely never happened.
Yeah.
And you cannot defend a lie.
What's the next takeaway?
The next takeaway is just to make sure that it's everything is contractual, right? So even though if me and you are, my manager, just to make sure everything is contractual, even with the third party.
Next takeaway. If there's a next, I don't want to just line them up for you.
No, opposite of that, it's just, honestly, I think just overall, just to make sure that you're just not giving people things that they think are going on, not to let stuff linger, because I'm a very private person.
That's the Pisces in us.
Yeah, I'm a very private person. And again, I'm not doing anything nefarious. And so sometimes when I hear things.
She says she's a private person. She has not a one picture of her husband. She could have one picture of him. You don't necessarily need to tell like where, please don't say where he work and all of that, because nobody needs to know that. But this lady doesn't have one picture of her husband. So here's another thing. If she wants to grow in this YouTube space, you don't necessarily have to put pictures of your family on your social media, but people want to feel like they are in some ways connected to you. You don't talk about your husband. You barely want to say you have a husband. You barely want to wear a ring. Now you have a child, which looks like to be a daughter, and so I see why the struggle is real for you, because you put on too many facades and people are not going to be able to get a true idea of who you are, because she says, I don't want to show this. Well, don't show it. But when do you ever become a human being on camera? When?
I'll say, okay, well, people are going to just talk. I don't give life to it because it's not true.
Do you like a little bit of the attention?
I've always got attention.
No, that's not what I'm asking.
No, I've always got.
That's not what I'm asking.
No. I've always got.
You can't modify my question. This is called perspective. It's my perspective.
And this is my perspective of your answer.
Okay. This is what I had to go through being her executive producer, y'all. This is what I had to go through.
So the attention from the negative stuff, absolutely
No, do
not.
you like attention from men?
No.
Okay.
I like attention to what I'm doing.
Are you happily married?
I'm definitely happy married.
Are you bored in your
You are not happily married, ma'am, and you definitely like attention. When people post every single picture as she posts hers, it is giving attention. You want attention and you like attention. And I'm so glad that he called it out. Girl, I don't know, what the age group of this, Orlando, the guy who interviewed you, but I'm old school. You most definitely want attention. People always ask me why you don't post full body pics. A lot of times I don't, because I don't like those weird ass DMs, and I just don't like it. I just don't need nobody to be looking at my body saying, "Oh, you got this." I don't like all the weird stuff. Maybe at some point I'll post some pictures, but I don't like the weird shit. But when you continually post revealing pictures, you want to show your shape and that, and it's okay to show your shape, but it's the seductive things that she does. She definitely wants attention. And like I said earlier in the video, it's something with her marriage.
No.
Okay. Just people, you wanted me to ask the questions.
They want you to be messy.
No.
Listen,
Let's
call the thing. They want you to be messy. They want you to, hold on. This is the internet. They want you to be messy. They want you to be all in my business. And they want.
Okay, guys. So you guys wanted me to review this particular video, and I have done just that. I kind of cut it off at the end because she gets into the breakup between her and Anton. And I don't want to go into that on this video because I got some more information that I want to cover. Now, Anton Daniels and this relationship with female host Micca. This was more lies and no accountability. Again, we see Anton, we see how he acts with his female host, and there are a few that he flirts with. She wants to tell us it's his online image. Okay, well, she's, like she said, she's being paid between $200 and $3,500 a month for working 2 nights a week. And I believe if she says it's 2 to 35, she's probably getting more, upwards of the 35. I believe she was working Anton for whatever she can squeeze from him. She doesn't wear her ring. Now we see her with the ring on. It's just a lot of things going on with this lady. And I believe that she utilized this situation to squeeze any and everything out of whatever she could out of Anton, okay? It's the illusion. She is being seductive with him. It's a lot of things that she did on her part to initiate the attention that she received from Anton, because she has some tricks up her sleeve too. So I believe that this was a great interview, but what it did is this didn't help Micca. This did not help Micca at all. Micca is really telling us exactly who we thought she was. So y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you like these longer videos. I don't do long videos like this, but in the sense of this interview, it was so intuitive and there was so much stuff. I took notes. Well, I started to take notes, but it was so much. I'm like, no, we just gonna have to play it. I'll do the audio and then we'll review it. But y'all let me know again what y'all think. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys do that right away. Enable your bell notifications so when I do post my next video, you guys know about it, and let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Got the scoop on lock, spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell cause the tea don't